So one of my biggest pet peeves about the Essential Graphics panel is that all of the Mogurts that are organized inside of the Essential Graphics panel has a different look. Some of them are animated, some of them don't have a preview, and some of them just have a still photo. And why is that? And what if I told you that you could change it so all of them could have this animated preview? That's what I'm going to show you how to do in today's video. Hey everyone, Kelsey here, and welcome back to Gal. If you're new to the Premiere Gal channel, I post weekly video editing tips, motion design, and sound effects tutorials to help you become a better video creator. So if you're new here, consider subscribing for some more tips and hitting that notification bell. And in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to open up a motion graphics template and replace the preview file with an animated video. So that way in the Essential Graphics panel, when you preview it, you can see what it looks like. You can see here that this Mogrt has a preview. You can see Happy Holidays. This one doesn't have a preview. These ones are completely blank. I think this one's animated here, the search bar, but none of them are consistent, right? And these ones have a different aspect ratio. So what the heck is going on?
What the hell is going on here?
You know, the Essential Graphics panel is constantly evolving, so there may have been older Mogrts from the past that you've imported that maybe had a different way of being built, and that's why they have this different structure and a different look. But there is a way to update them, and I'm hoping that if Adobe's watching this, they will see what I'm doing, and hopefully it'll be an automatic thing that we'll be able to do in After Effects. The actual Mogrt that I'm using is from Envato Elements. I downloaded this giant typography pack, but when you import it into the Essential Graphics panel, all of the previews are just a still image. But what if we can make this a movie file? So here is the full pack. There's like over 100 Mogrts in this pack. I'm going to show you how to update one of the preview images here. So to set an example, what I've done is I've actually dissected an Adobe stock Mogrt, which has the animation built in. So to see what's inside of the Mogrt, we can replace the Mogrt extension with .zip and double click to open it up. And essentially this uncompress the Mogrt and shows you what's inside. So there's this JSON, which just has a bunch of script. You can ignore that. There's also the AE graphic file, which is an uncompressed Mogrt. And then there is this thumbnail video that's in here. If you press Command I, you can see what the file size is and the dimensions. So it's 700 by 394. So this is the little preview movie file that Adobe creatively put into the Mogrt, which we can make ourselves in After Effects the same way. There's also the thumbnail preview as well, and you can see by pressing Command I that it is 500 by 281. If we dissect one of the Envato typography packs, what we can do is see that there is a difference. So again, put .zip, use zip, double click to uncompress it, and here there's just one thumbnail image. So what we're going to do is basically take this thumb.mp4 and this .png and create it for this Envato typography. And the way we're going to do that is by opening up the Mogrt inside of After Effects. So to do that, we're going to go into After Effects. And by the way, in the latest version of After Effects, you can now open Mogrt files. To open up a Mogrt file, you're just going to go up to File, Open Project. I'm going to open up Typography 99 and press Open. And we can just extract it and save it into an After Effects project file. So now the Mogrt file is opened up, and now we need to export that preview file. So to do that, what we're going to do is just change the frame size of this composition. So click on this hamburger menu and go to Composition Settings. And here we can change the width and the height of this sequence. I'm going to change it to that MP4 preview. It's 700 by 394. So just hit OK. And then what we can do is we can update the scene width to fit inside of this new frame. So now if we fit this, we now have a preview of what this looks like. And we can then pull the playhead to 10 seconds here. And we can move the work area just to 10 seconds. So then we can export this as an MP4 file. So we can go up to File, export, and we can add it to Adobe Media Encoder because then we can export it as a .mp4. So here I will just go in and match source high bitrate, and I will save it to that extracted folder that we have here. And I will call it thumb and save it. And all this is going to do is generate that MP4 preview file for us. And essentially, it'll replace that thumbnail that we had before. So while this is going on, we can then make that preview image in that aspect ratio as well. So again, this thumb was 500 by 281. So again, we can go into the hamburger menu here, composition settings, and update the resolution. So now this resolution is the exact size of that thumbnail, and hit OK. And then we can fit it to frame, and we can also update the scene resolution of this Mogrt as well. If you don't have these controls here, remember you can use the scale and position controls inside of your composition to scale everything down. And then from here, I'm not going to export the same way. I'm going to go up to Composition, Save Frame As File, and I'm going to save this inside of my media folder, inside of that unzipped Mogrt that we have here, and I'm going to call it thumb and essentially replace this thumbnail. Just going to call it thumb, save. And instead of Photoshop, I'm going to click on Photoshop and change it to PNG sequence and hit OK. So now here is our new thumbnail, and here is the preview that you will see inside of the Essential Graphics panel in Premiere Pro. So I'm going to delete this old thumbnail, which doesn't look very good. It's confusing. Let's go ahead and just drag that into the trash. Great. And I will just change this to thumb. So then how, from here, do we get this back into a Mogrt file? All we need to do is select all of these files together. So hold Shift and click the last file here, right click and compress it. And now this is a new file called archive.zip. From here, we can change the extension to .mogrt. And it will still use typography _99 when you import this archive Mogrt in Essential Graphics, but just for clarity, we can just recall it this exact same name. So now this is the new Mogrt with this new preview. So let me show you how it works. So now back in Premiere Pro, we can then take this Mogrt file and drag and drop it into our Essential Graphics panel. And here, if I search for typography 99, look at this. Now we have this preview and we can easily see what's going on. So in an ideal world, I would love to go through all of my Mogrts and do this exact same process. But it is tedious for a person purchasing the packs to have to do this. So if you are a motion designer and you sell Mogrt packs, do this to all of your Mogrts so the people that are using your Mogrts, they're going to be happy, and it's going to be easier to identify everything inside the Essential Graphics panel. And this is a call on Adobe. They should make this process automatic. So when you go into After Effects and you make these changes and you're ready as a designer to export your motion graphics template to save it in your own local templates folder, there should be options here for us to export the MP4 in the right resolution and the thumbnail image all in one. So after you hit OK, you don't have to do anything afterward. As I mentioned in the beginning, Envato Elements is my go-to source for motion graphics templates. It enables me as a video editor to find all these great animations that will then make it easier for me to complete my edit on time, because I'm not going to go in and design all of the animation. I need to be able to go in and find a lower third, a new logo reveal, and they have everything that I'm looking for. And then I can download it and keep it forever. So go check it out. Use my link below to get 70% off your first month, and let me know if you have any questions. So that's all for this video. Give it a thumbs up if you want Adobe to include this MP4 in the preview files going forward, so that way it is consistent. And if you want any other hack videos like this, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. That's all for today's video, and as always, keep creating better video with Gal. See you next time. Bye!